Welcome to Bass Coast today, this Friday, the 20th of March, 2020. I keep saying it, this is so new. I'm just making the best of a pretty bleak situation.
I can't be more blunt about it.
But here we are. Bass Coast today is a little idea to try and improve human connection in the only way that I can sort of assist with at the moment. I'm sort of taking a wide berth and in this downtime to think about the things that I can do for my community. I believe that if you focus primarily just on yourself,
stop it.
With all the panic and fear, it can breed anxiety and stress, and that's just something that will only bring us down even further. So if we keep it about communities and what we can do for the wider community, it sort of takes that pressure off yourself. So I've got a bit of a loose plan so far for these podcast episodes with a few different segments, and it will change all the time. I don't know if I'm going to make them daily or weekly yet, but we'll see how we go. First and foremost, what's going on in the Bass Coast today segment? Nothing. Everything's been cancelled. Things that weave the social fabric of small community life together, like sporting events, entertainment, music, socialising. The effects, as a human species, we're social animals, and it's scientifically proven that with more isolation just in normal life, we do get sick. It's so these times, like, yes, taking everything online at the moment, it's only really a knee-jerk reaction, but it's the best we can do at this moment. So what's happening, I've just checked the Bass Coast Shire website, and it's just they're limiting, even with the council meetings, they're suggesting that people don't even come to those at this stage. All events across the Shire have been cancelled. Schools are still currently sort of functioning at the moment, and there is obviously a lot of back and forth on that at this point. In a personal situation with my two businesses, George Pappas Media and Tavita Film, all my work's postponed or cancelled. So I have no income and no reassurance, uncertain times. So connecting myself with the people who I work with a lot, local government, local organisations, local businesses, just to connect still, chat still, try and come up with ways to best use this time to upskill, learn something new, stay creative, stay happy, because our mental health will suffer if we don't. I have recorded my first phone interview this morning with someone, and I can't wait to play that for you. As far as other things in the Bass Coast, I know just from my own experience that many of the small businesses who are suffering, putting out statements to say that they're doing everything in their power to limit the spread. We know what the government recommendations are on group gatherings and restaurants and food places and shopping centres. I wonder how that works for shopping centres, actually. That's a good point. We'll have to look into that. But here on the Bass Coast, cafes and food places, they're looking at every way they can to still provide their service. But, think about all of the small businesses who may not make it through this. The big players, they, national companies and big shopping centres, they'll be fine. They'll get through this no problem. If anything, they'll profit from it. It's the small businesses that if they fold, that's it, they're gone. And where possible and where comfortable, we need to still support them. Still go to your coffee shop, and in the best way that you feel comfortable, get what you can. Think about our local small to medium businesses. They're doing everything in their power to limit the danger. But again, it's totally up to each individual on what you feel comfortable with. So the next segment is basically my view on things at the moment. Just my personal view for today is the attitude that I'm hearing, and it's not at all in my local area. This is just stuff that I've picked up from social media and the world news, and just seeing people's sentiments saying, well, I don't mind if I get it because I'm young and healthy and I'll be fine, is something that I believe has no empathy and no compassion for the wider community. If you get it and you come into contact with someone and then they come into contact with their grandparents and they pass away, you will never know what you've caused. I very much believe that at the moment, the safest thing to do is just for all of us to limit the spread of this thing. Just because you'll be fine doesn't mean everyone else will. So George's view for the day.
I've got to say, it's been one of the most disappointing things I've seen in Australian behaviour in response to this crisis.
So I want to play a little segment now, memes I've seen. Memes I've seen. That's what we're calling it. And each as we go forward, there'll be sort of themes to this. So at the moment, these are all pandemic related. So here's the first one. Prediction. There will be a minor baby boom in 9 months, and then one day in 2033, we shall witness the rise of the quarantines. Pandemic related meme. Introverts, check on your extroverted friends. With all this talk of quarantine and social distancing, they're not okay. But obviously, just use text or social media. Let's not forget who we are. All the introverts of the world are rejoicing inside at this present time, and so are the young gamers saying, see, I told you so. Here's another funny one. I wanted to go and do panic buying, but I checked my bank account. I can only afford to panic. That's funny, but it's actually the truth for so many people. So, you know what I'd really like to see go viral? Basic human decency. Here. One Back to the Future meme. Marty! I just came back from 2040. People still have unused toilet paper from 2020. That goes out to the hoarders.
Stop hoarding.
And
I can't be more blunt about it.
the real reason we're running so low on toilet paper is because when one person coughs, everyone shits themselves. And I thought that was bloody hilarious because it's true, unfortunately. And then here's a positive one, which is more of just a quote of what I was talking about earlier, and not so much a meme, but we'll end on it because it's a good one. Please, during this pandemic, support your local small businesses. Go to the butcher, greengrocer, local coffee shop. The big supermarkets and chains can take the strain. The big boys can take the punch in the wallet. The little shop, hairdresser or newsagents might not make it. Once a small business goes down, it's much harder for it to come back. Please support the independent little guys where you can. And I say, hear, hear. All right. As another segment, I've always wanted to make a skit show. I've always wanted to do puns. I've always thought of myself as just trying to entertain people. But unfortunately, I'm the only person that usually finds them funny. So if you needed more punishment at the moment, I'd like to play a couple of clips to see if I can get a giggle out of at least one person. Because if you can make one person happy, then you've started something. So enjoy some puns from a trip that I went on with my business partner, Reese Ulick, when Tavita Film was getting off the ground and filming some stuff in America last year. I apologise to absolutely nobody. Enjoy.
Oh, hello, George. Welcome to Venice.
Hey, Reese. Yeah. I thought turkeys could fly. Did you just buy the ground turkey? Hey Reese, we're going camping. We need some vegetables. Can this capsicum? Oh yeah, that's a sweet potato. Hey Reese, your surfboard looks very nice. Look, they've got a yogurt for rabbits here. This one's for Chobani. Hey Reese, do you want a coffee, mate? You know these jokes are nice and cheesy. I can smell something. Have you been doing fluffs? Gee, this looks like candy foil. Nothing Pete's cold brew. It's so scary up there, so I ran away. Terence, I told you stop putting snacks over here. Hi, bro. There was a gay guy up there. He just, I just saw him try to touch a chapstick.
Stop it. It's not sensible. It's not helpful.
No! Stop it!
Okay, welcome back. I know.
Matt Damon.
Okay, we officially have our first interview. It's via phone because we're all in pretty much lockdown to a degree. This person is one of my favourite human beings. I've been lucky enough to grow up with him. He's a incredible member of the Bass Coast community. He is the founder of Free 3D Hands that make 3D printed assistive devices for people who require that. And he also has many other attributes that make him an incredible person. Welcome to Matt Botel.
G'day George, how you doing?
Mate, I'm doing all right. I want to start out from the outset to say the reason I've contacted you to talk about this sort of current situation that we're in is because I know you and I share a severe case of optimism and positivity. And so I wanted to talk to you and get your take on things as a community member, not the spokesperson for any of the amazing things that you do, but just you, the amazing person that you are. So how are you, firstly, and the family?
I'm doing really, really well. The family are great. But yeah, we're going through pretty unprecedented times. We're seeing, with this COVID-19 coronavirus spreading through the community and people's reaction to that. Living on Phillip Island, I've always been very, very proud that, we're such a close-knit community and we're always there for each other in the toughest of times. And then over the last few weeks, just to see people are starting to get a little bit panicky, with the panic buying with toilet paper, food, the shelves being empty. And I just thought, we're better than this. And, for me, initially I thought, gee, we're going to have to resort to using bloody newspaper soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because there's just no toilet paper available. And so I actually got onto the laser cutter, just as a joke, right, about a week ago, and I started cutting my own toilet paper with the laser cutter with perforated lines and everything and a hole in it to hang it on the wall, right? But it was really funny, right? That was just a silly idea.
Yeah.
But then we had one of our volunteers, Peter. She came into the factory and she bought in a box of toilet paper that she had at home. She'd ordered it online, the Who Gives a Crap.
Oh, yeah. Everyone gives a crap at the moment, right? I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right. And she offered, the volunteers and ourselves in the factory, guys, if you need a roll, I've got plenty.
Oh.
So she brings in, a few rolls of toilet paper into the factory to offer them around. And what was really surprising? Nobody took one. Because they said, look, I've still got, 3 or 4 rolls, including ourselves. We've got about 5 rolls at home. And and I thought, no, I'm not going to take one because there'd be people out in the community that would need them more than I do. And I just went home and I had a really good think about it. And I thought, you know what? I reckon as a community we can all come together and all, chip in just one roll. If we've got 6 or 7 rolls at home, just to chip in one for the benefit of the people that have none left. And that's what sort of gave me the idea. I thought, Phillip Island, this is how we roll. We can come together and overcome this time. And I put together a simple system and, where people can, just drop off a roll into a drop-off bin.
Yeah.
Obviously the issue with the contamination is a big concern. So we've got a yellow bin that all of those rolls at the end of the day then going into a quarantine sprayed with isopropyl alcohol.
Wow.
Today, hopefully to eliminate the spread.
Well thought out.
And then the next day they go into a green good to go bin.
Wow.
Where people are allowed to come, pick up a roll, one roll per family.
Yeah.
You know, if they're in need, if they don't have any left.
Mate, that's a great idea.
Very simple idea.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think that's what we sort of need now at the moment. You know, we need sort of people thinking, okay, how do we ensure that, you know, everybody's going to be okay and get through this?
Yeah.
We need to come together as a community.
I love that, mate. That's very much from an empathetic and thinking of the whole instead of ourselves. I think that if everyone remembers that we're all in this together, and especially in our small little area, we'll all be okay because everyone will be looking out for each other. So I applaud that idea. This Is How We Roll is a great name. As a fan of puns myself, I love that. It reminds me of, do you ever remember that Seinfeld episode where Elaine is knocking on the cubicle? Can you spare a square?
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is kind of embarrassing, but there's no toilet paper over here.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I just forgot to check, so if you could spare some.
No, I'm sorry.
What?
No, I'm sorry, I can't spare it.
You can't spare it?
No, there's not enough to spare.
Well, I don't need much. Just 3 squares will do it.
I'm sorry, I don't have 3 squares now, if you don't mind.
3 squares? You can't spare 3 squares?
No, I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square.
Well, is it 2 ply? Because if it's 2 ply, I'll take 1 ply. 1 ply. 1 puny little ply. I'll take 1 measly ply.
Look, I don't have a square and I don't have a ply. No, don't pull, I beg you.
It's become real life, this, you know.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? If I came to you a month ago and said, George, mate, I need a roll of toilet paper, you'd look at me and go, hey, you're out in the dog box again, you're sleeping in the car. It's a really quite a sad reality that now, you know, bare essentials, something that had no value now, people are fighting in supermarkets over. But you know what? You know, this is just an idealistic view of the world that I have, you know, that we can do this. But I implemented the system yesterday at the front of the factory, and we're not doing it as a charity. It's free for hands. It doesn't fall within the objectives of our charity, so we have to be really careful. But why we put them out the front of the free 3D Hands factory is because we've got access to security camera out the front just to ensure that it's a safe environment.
Wow.
The bins are outside. They're watertight, so no rain can get in. And it's a place where people can come and drop off and pick up without having any human contact, you know, if they're trying to avoid the spread of the virus at the moment.
It's incredible. It really is. The words, there's a lot of key words getting thrown around at the moment. Unprecedented and scary and everything. But in no situation in life, you know, panic helps. Panic only makes it harder. There's no clarity. And fear spreads quicker than any virus. It's probably the biggest virus that spreads. And so...
Yeah, I think what we've seen is similar to, you know, when someone gets cancer, they've got that grief cycle. I think they call it Kubler-Ross grief cycle.
Okay.
You know, there's a whole bunch of phases that people go through. First is denial. The second is anger. Then that moves into depression. And then after that is bargaining before finally accepting the reality. And I think at the moment we've just, as a society, gone out of denial. People were denying that it's even a problem.
Agreed, yes.
And as they moved up in towards the anger and realising, oh crap, you know, this is a problem here, gone out and panic bought everything, you know, just out of fear. You know? There
is a level between stocking up so, you know, you can isolate and just having yourself covered and then hoarding. And there's been some, I mean, I haven't come across it in our Bass Coast area, but I've seen a lot of people trying to profit off this, which is a terrible aspect. And I urge people not to do that. But yeah, the overriding denial was really, and that's a part of, our, especially here on the Basque Coast, we have it really good. Like we live in heaven. We've got lots of open space. We've got great community support. We've got amazing services to keep what we need down here running, and enough stock usually to go. We're used to dealing with stuff with the tourism. Like in summer, everything's sort of, you learn to live around that. But this has really taken everyone by surprise. So
it has, absolutely has. And the thing that sort of worries me, if you're looking back at that grief cycle, the next step is depression. And
yes.
I think, we need to ensure that as a community, we remain connected. We realise that we're all together.
Yeah.
We're all in it together. We're not in it alone, right?
No.
We talk about self-isolation, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
To stop the spread, flatten the curve, all these bloody, taglines that they've got. But to remember that, yes, even though if you are self-isolating, you still can be connected to the community.
Yeah, and that's...
We need to remember that we're not alone.
Yeah, 100%. I think that by any means at this point, whether it is extra phone calls, accessing great things online, keeping yourself busy, but one thing that hit me yesterday, like my two businesses have just gone on basically postponed status until further notice, and I may not survive depending on how long this goes. And there was yesterday afternoon, I am very optimistic and positive because I just want to be more connected with my community and share my feeling of optimism and togetherness with everyone. But it did hit me yesterday. I won't lie. I felt quite taken aback, and I'd almost go as far as to say I was upset, and I had to take a step back and sort of and breathe it through for a good hour. I just felt very flat. The reality had sink in. So that what you just described as that grief cycle, I definitely can say that it first hit the depression side of it, did sort of slap me in the head. Yeah,
it's probably something that is foreign to a lot of us, and blaming, blaming a certain type of person for something, and the anger that's associated with it. But what I've seen over the last day, mate, has just blown me away.
Yeah.
We've got our good to go bin sitting out front is full, completely full of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Right. We're getting more delivered than people are actually taking. We've had some vulnerable people come in and taking rolls.
Yeah.
But, people have been bringing entire packs. We asked for one roll,
Wow.
For people to donate, but they've been bringing, and most of them are wrapped too. So they're, the ones we've got out in our bin at the moment are still in the factory wrapping.
Yeah.
Single rolls.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
That's just, So people have been really thoughtful.
Yeah.
They haven't taken more than one.
Yeah.
Right? Where they know that, if they run out again, they can come back and grab another one.
This is how we bloody roll, eh? Look at you go.
Well, they talk about, flattening out the spread of this, flatten the curve.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with buying, essential items.
Yeah.
Instead of hoarding, have less so that spreads further.
Yeah.
So that nobody goes without.
Well, I'm of course, and I know you too well, you're not going to want to take any credit. You're a catalyst for some amazing thought processes and ways that you change the world. I believe very strongly that you make the world a much better place, Matt Botel, and you are
this system couldn't work without the amazing community that we live in, right?
Yes.
I just set up the system.
Yeah,
it can't work without the people, and what I've seen so far from the Phillip Island community has just been absolutely mind-blowing, and it's just incredible just to see the love and support for others that people have been giving, and I'm just really, really proud to be a Phillip Islander at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations, mate. That's wonderful. It really is. It's like a movie at the moment. I'm going to be doing a few different segments part of Bass Coast today. I want to keep it, it's very new and I'm still designing as I go, but I'm super grateful to be able to take you away from your busy schedule for a chat. I appreciate, and I'd love to check in with you every week or so for a 5 or 10 minute chat to see, how you guys are going and discussing different things. But I really wanted to bring to light the initiative. This is how we roll. So again, congratulations.
I'd love to see what else comes out of this community. Other groups, we've got Pickle, we've got all kinds of things. The advertiser have said that they can, get the word out for people, whether there are multiple locations across the island. If anyone wants to pick up the ball and take a lead on it, that'd be absolutely great. But the community coming together to spread love and compassion for others will overcome the spread of the virus. And I think, that's going to make us an even tighter community after we come out of this.
Yeah, definitely agree, mate. I really feel that how we act now, I would love to be able to turn around and look back when we are through this, because we will get through this, and be proud of how we as a community looked after each other instead of pointing the finger and blaming and
it's very
losing it.
What lessons we're teaching our kids at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's
especially if it gets to the stage where they're not going to school. Going through a bit of a tough time will probably teach them a lesson, and how we respond to that, through helping others, is going to be a really, really important lesson, I think.
Mate, so before we leave, I just wanted to get your tips on, as you know, I'm just making the best of the equipment that I have and just trying to be creative. And we just talked earlier before we started recording about using this time, making the best of this time instead of focusing on the worst of it, and upskilling, learning something new, being positive, because I believe that's going to be a very powerful mental and spiritual mental health tool. Because so what would be, are you going to be
talking about this? Not talking about this. This is how we roll campaign anymore. Talking about me as the founder of Free Friday Hands.
Yeah.
Just looking at how we're going to move forward through this. In my mind, if I have to be in self-isolation, that will actually be a good thing, because that means I can come and sit in front of my desk and innovate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this time to be innovating and coming out better on the other side.
Yeah.
We've set up our staff. So I've got an assistant, Peter, who does all of our emails. She can work remotely from home.
Yep.
Right. So trying to set things up, and obviously you can't apply that to all businesses, right?
Not all.
Trying to set up your teams so that they can work independently. So that, we can upskill our workforce so that on the other side we're going to come out on top,
Yeah.
Less short-term thinking. Just try, it's hard when you're panicking.
Yeah, it is.
Try to think, okay, how can we use this negative situation to our advantage? Because we will come out on the other side.
Yeah. And what are we going to do then? Exactly.
That's right. And the steps that we take now are going to be really, really important.
There are some, I know for a fact, because my business, being a business service, I work with local government, organisations, multinational companies, all the way down to small businesses and self-employed people. I believe that the economic, it's hard to look someone in the face and say, don't panic, when you will not have any income, and how are you going to survive? Like, the panic is real. So by no means am I trying to downplay that, because I'm actually in that boat myself. But I know for a fact that if we can be strong and rise up against that primal sort of fear and say, okay, I'm in that boat, but I'm not going to let it drag me down mentally. I'm going to spend my time, learning something or doing something. And I know, for example, I can already tell the world that if we do go into full lockdown and Matt Botel is left at his desk, holy crap, there's going to be some good stuff that comes out of that. I tell you right now, I know from experience. So, Yeah, look, mate, I just want to say thanks again for your time. Keep in touch.
Your time.
All the best. And yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks for your time, George.
No worries, mate. You're a legend. Bye.
See ya.
See ya. Okay. Amazing human being there, Matt Botel. Thanks for being on the show, buddy. We'll check in with you again soon. Like I said, I'd love to remind everybody, if you want to have a chat, email me or message me on Instagram or Facebook. It's basscoasttoday@gmail.com, or just look me up on the socials. Yeah, business owners, you want to plug your business free, you want to talk about social stuff, school stuff, kids stuff, community stuff, ideas that you want to float, contact me here and let's get it out there to the community. If you've got ideas for someone I should speak to as well, let me know, because I would like to speak to them. I don't know who they are yet. When you tell me, I'll know. But if you tell me and I don't know, or I do know, and we speak to them, then that's another person I've spoken to. So, okay.
Stop it.
If you've got something that you've come up with to help others, please feel free to contact me here, and I'll share that information so we can extend all care and help and assistance throughout our whole community to make sure that nobody gets left behind. If you've got any ideas for segments that I should do, please, again, comment below. So for now, let's alleviate the pressure on everyone, take the stress level down, take the cortisol, stress, hormone straight down, take the pressure down. Panic and fear is only going to make this thing worse. And like I believe that how we act now will teach our children of how they need to act moving forward, and the world can grow, but we gotta stick together, and we've got to help each other now. Okay, so all the best. Stay safe. Virtual elbow taps and toe taps from now. If you're in trouble, you need anything, reach out and I'll find a way if I can help you. Okay, so thanks for watching the first real installment of Bass Coast Today here with George Pappas on Friday, the 20th of March 2020. Hope you've enjoyed yourself a little bit. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you again. All right, signing off.